Yo guys, it's your boy AniZ with What If Naruto Was a Saiyan and Neglected. So guys, before we start, Naruto will be the legendary Super Saiyan and Goku's younger brother in this. Also, my friends have requested an harem, so yeah, I'm gonna do a harem for this one. And one of Naruto's main goals is to restore the Saiyan race. So let's get right into the video. On a distant planet called Planet Vegeta in the age 737, Guinea had just given birth to two Saiyans. One who is judged to be a low-class warrior with a power level of 2, known as Kakarot, who will eventually be called Son Goku on Earth. He was the older of the two Saiyans, and the youngest one, who was born a high-class Saiyan with a power level of 10,000. When this was discovered, King Vegeta had tried to have the younger Saiyan executed or exiled, but Bardock beat him to the ground, forcing the king to surrender. We now skip to age 739. Bardock, the father of the Saiyans, had returned from his rigged mission and had seen the future of his people, how Frieza will kill him and kill all the Saiyans, since he fears the legend of the Super Saiyan rising up against him. Bardock also saw it was useless to convince the other Saiyans, as they will think he was insane, so he hurried home. Guinea, after dark, I'm gonna steal 2 Saiyan pods for the kids and we're gonna send our sons to another world, Bardock said. Huh? You gotta be kidding me. Have you gone insane? Why would we abandon our sons like that? He can't even speak, Guinea said. With Kakarot's latent ability, he's destined to be sent away, and with Naruto's high ability, the king will purposely send him on death missions because of his paranoia. So we're gonna send them to a planet where they can at least grow up and be decent people, Bardock said. No, he's far too young for that, Guinea said. I don't think we can afford to wait much longer, Bardock said. And what does that mean? Guinea said. Because of Frieza. He's afraid that the legendary Super Saiyan will appear one day and oppose him, Bardock said. Super Saiyan? But that's just a legend, a children's fairy tale, Bardock, Guinea said. I know. The problem is he still fears the legend, and we know he won't take any chances. We're on death's doorsteps, Bardock said. It's now night. We see Bardock with 2 Saiyan pods getting away from the Saiyan city. You can hear 2 Saiyan babies crying in the pods. Is there another way? Let's think about this, Bardock, Guinea said. No, it's the only choice. If I'm wrong, I will go back and get them, Bardock said. In that case, why don't we always run off together, Guinea said. We can't, they'll pick us up on those damn scouters of theirs. Naruto leaving itself is a huge risk. Kakarot would definitely slip past them with his low power level, but Naruto's power level, sometimes it's at 950 and then at other times it's at 10,000. And I'll try to distract Frieza to let him get away, Bardock said. Why are you going through so much trouble? It's not like a Saiyan man to care about their children, so what's got into you, Guinea asked. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm constantly fighting, destroying, and I actually want to save something for once, especially one who's judged to be a low class warrior, and one who is judged to be an abomination for being born so strong when he's descended from 2 low class warriors. Like my Kakarot and Naruto, Bardock said, as they arrived to the blast off site. Bardock put the 2 pods down. I programmed Kakarot to head to a distant planet called Earth, while Naruto will be heading to a planet called Namek. Both have low power levels and aren't technologically advanced. I think they'll do well at the planets that I've chosen for them. And the good thing is, the planets aren't valuable, Bardock said. Guinea got tears in her eyes as she went to the pods and looked at her babies. If your father's wrong, we'll come and get you, Guinea said as she started to cry. Bardock comes up and says, listen my sons, do whatever it takes to survive, you got it? We'll see you soon, Guinea said, hopefully, as she put a hand on Kakarot and Naruto's pods as the 2 babies reached out for their parents' hands and started crying knowing that they will be separated. Goodbye, Bardock said, as the pods started to fly away, giving the babies one last look at their parents and their family. In Naruto's pod, Naruto started to cry as his power level rises to 10,000. We see Guinea running off the pod crying. Guinea then yells, don't forget us, Kakarot and Naruto, as the pods leave the atmosphere, as she starts to cry and Bardock comes and hugs her. We then zoom out of the planet to see Frieza in his ship. My lord, we have detected a large power level leaving the planet. As Frieza's ship zooms in and he sees Naruto's pod leaving. So the monkeys thought they can outsmart me. Oh ho, a power level of 10,000. Too bad, Frieza said as he fires a blast towards the ship, destroying it and killing the baby. He then creates a giant supernova and fires it towards planet Vegeta. We see Guinea crying as she sees the skies turn orange and sees a giant energy ball heading towards the planet. So you were right, Bardock. I'm happy that Kakarot and Naruto left. I hope they're safe wherever they are, Guinea said, not knowing that Naruto was killed, but Kakarot survived. We now see Bardock firing a right javelin, but was overpowered by the energy ball, as the energy ball then consumes him. As he then sees the future of Kakarot defeating Frieza, and then he sees a future of Naruto. Naruto's facing an unknown man in red armor in his green Super Saiyan form. Then he sees Naruto getting married to many girls. Naruto was then in a bed with multiple girls. "That's my boy," Bardock said, happy that the Saiyans will continue to exist after their deaths. "The Saiyans will live," Bardock said with a smile as he died happily as the blast consumes him and kills him once and for all. Now we go to a planet far away. We see a purple cat watching the destruction of planet Vegeta. He then suddenly remembers that the Oracle Fish had told him about how there was going to be a multiversal tournament that will result in the destruction of the universe if they lose. As much as I do not like this, that Saiyan child with a power level of 10,000 has so much potential to let die, especially when the tournament threatens our existence. We reincarnate him in the chakra part of the universe so Frieza does not find him. Also, he should be able to use that chakra energy as well, Beerus said. "As you wish, Lord Beerus," we said as Beerus looked for a suitable vessel to give birth to Naruto. He then saw Krishna, who was a Uzumaki, strong enough to birth a legendary Saiyan. He then orders Whis to revert Naruto back into a baby and put him into Krishna. He also drains Krishna's true children's chakra, leaving them with 5% of their chakra, and puts the rest into Naruto. Inside of Krishna, the Nine-Tails sees the power of the kid as he feels fear for the first time in his life. He feels 90% of his chakra getting drained and going into the child, making a chakra system so that Naruto can use chakra with Whis. Whis then removes the evil from Naruto, his natural Saiyan instincts, and makes him naturally as pure-hearted as Gine. And he also adds a bit of Bardock, like Bardock's fighting style. He also removes the Saiyan Tail's weaknesses. This Saiyan, he has high potential, even more than Beerus did, Whis thought. "Lord Beerus, it has been done. He has been reincarnated. His location is a village called the Leaf on the planet Elam, a low-level planet that nobody will be interested in," we said. "Good, now wake me up in 8778, Beerus said, as Whis nodded. We now go to the Nine-Tails attack. Krishna had given birth to 2 red-haired children and 1 child with a black hair and a tail. "Krishna, did you cheat on me?" Minato said. "No, you bucka, why would I cheat on you? And even if I did, how come the children look like you then? It's probably a Keki Genkai," Krishna said. Suddenly a portal opened up and out came a masked man as he holds a kunai against Naruto's throat. "Step away from the Jinchuriki or your son dies," he says. Minato then steps away and saves Naruto while the masked man releases the Nine-Tails. Since the Nine-Tails was weaker since Naruto drained most of his chakra, it didn't do that much damage. Minato was then going to seal the Nine-Tails away, but was then knocked on the ground as a restraining seal appeared on him. "Lord Third, what are you doing?" Minato asked. It's not your time, Minato. You need to look after your children. I will split the Nine-Tails in half and seal it in Mito. Make sure the villagers treat them good," Hiruzen said. "I will make sure that happens," Minato says, as he watched his grandpa figure give his life to seal the demon away. Naruto then grabs a kunai and cuts Naruto's cheek out of anger. Baby Naruto then starts to cry, snapping Minato out of his anger. "It's all your fault. You were captured. If it wasn't for you being captured, I might have been able to stop the Nine-Tails before it was released. You might have not been responsible for the release of the Nine-Tails, but you're responsible for the attack and my grandpa's death," Minato said out of anger, but soon realizes what he has done. "Oh no, I just attacked a kid, my kid, but I can't help, I just hate him. He looks nothing like me. He looks nothing like Krishna. He's an abomination. And he has a monkey tail," Minato thought. "Minato-kun, what happened to Naruto? He has a cut on his cheek," Krishna said, walking up to him. "Oh, that, the masked man cut him, and Grandpa Hiruzen gave his life to save the village by sealing the Nine-Tails into Mito, our heroes," Minato said. After that, there was a council meeting where Minato explained most of the stuff that happened, but was suddenly interrupted when he was about to get to the sealing part of the attack. He was interrupted by Jiraiya and Tsunade. "Minato, my boy, the Tories have given me a prophecy. They say a child born from the Red Death and the Yellow Flash with inhumane power shall save the universe and bring peace to the multiverse. I believe it's the Jinchurikis. Since they do not have human powers, they have demonic powers," Jiraiya said. "You hear that, Krishna? Our children are going to be heroes." "Yeah, Minato, they're going to be the best. We're going to have to make sure that they live happy so they can actually choose to save the world," Minato said. "Yes, Minato, we need to train them," Jiraiya said. "Yeah, we need to make sure that they save the world and create peace, because that was Dan's wishes," Tsunade said. So Minato, me, Tsunade, and our daughter Rose will move in with you, Jiraiya said. Oh yes, your daughter. Did you check if she has the wood release? Minato said, no, she's weak. She has a low chakra level as well, Jiraiya said with disappointment. Tsunade and Krishna then left the room so that Jiraiya and Minato can speak. I'm scared the villagers might overreact when they find out that the kids are Jinchurikis, Minato said. Ah, well you see I got a solution for that. You know there's this orphan girl that appeared out of nowhere with white skin and horns, the age of your children. Blame it on her, say that she controlled the Nine Tails or she's the reincarnation of the Nine Tails, Jiraiya said. Okay, but what should we do about Naruto, my third born? He's a normal human and he has a monkey tail. I think it's a bloodline, Minato said. Minato, think about it this way. For peace, we need to focus on the Jinchurikis, Jiraiya said. Well, that is true, Minato said. Minato then went to the council as he blamed the whole Nine Tails attack on the orphan girl. We now skip 4 years. Rose was crying. Naruto-kun, why do our parents hate us? They never train us and they force us to do the chores. And they let those two spoiled brats attack us for training. And if we hurt them, they hit us and the villagers treat us like trash, Rose said crying. Naruto got angry and hugged her. They're evil, like everyone in this god-forsaken village. They call us disgraces to our family. But look at the villagers, they're hypocritical. They're weak themselves. They can't even fight. They have to pick on people who are children and not on people that are their own size or their own age. When I'm older, I'm going to torture them for revenge and I'll avenge us, Naruto said, tightening the hug. The door was then slammed open as Mema and Mito came in. Oi, disgraces. Come, it's training time. This time you better not fight back or I'll make sure mum, uncle, aunt and dad hurt you, Mema said. Naruto and Rose glared at the two as they went down. Ah, Naruto, Rose, how nice of you to join us. You lot are going to be running and trying to avoid the kunais while Mito will be throwing the kunai at you and then it will be Mema's turn, Naruto said. For the next hour, Naruto dodged the kunais because he begged his mother and father to keep Rose out of this and they agreed. You disgust me, Naruto. I can't believe I'm related to a monkey freak like you. You can't even dodge kunais properly. Maybe we should add Rose to the thing, she said. After it was her brother's turn, but this time her brother did not allow it to only be Naruto. He made sure that Rose was also hurt by the kunais in the practice. Both Naruto and Rose were injured as they were bleeding as their parents left forgetting about them, forgetting to heal them, to get the Jinchurikis some presents, while leaving Naruto and Rose with their injuries. After an hour, Naruto and Rose decided to go out when they saw a mob of villagers ganging up on a pale-skinned girl with a horn as she was getting beaten by a grown man. Naruto got angry. He tapped into his ki and he suddenly got in between the mob within seconds. You're the disgraced son of the fourth. How dare you help this demon and taint our Hokage's name even further? You disgust me. Get out of the way or die, Rebeki Harano said. Make me, you pink-head gorilla freak, Naruto said. Harano got angry as she charged at Naruto. With a knife, Naruto stopped it with his fingers and flicked it out of her hand as it sliced off her arm clean. He then proceeded to beat her. The mob then charged at Naruto, but Naruto dodged all of their attacks and formed a small ki blast instantly and threw it at the ground, creating a small explosion, breaking most of the arms and legs of the mob. Naruto then picked up the girl and took her with him as Rose followed him. Hey, you alright? Naruto asked. Yeah, I am, but why did you help me? I've never been helped out, only beaten before, she said blushing. I helped because it's the right thing to do. I mean, I saw several grown men and a woman attacking a 4-year-old little girl. What did you expect me to do? Naruto said. Well, you're 4 as well. And what's your name? My name is Yariko Suki and I would expect you to help me, she said. Beautiful name for a beautiful girl. My name is Naruto, just Naruto, Naruto said. Yariko blushed hard when he called her beautiful as Rose got a bit angry and jealous and coughed. Oh yeah, this is Rose, Naruto said. Oh hi, Yariko said shyly as Rose found this cute and forgave her. Hi, Rose said. So you're Yariko, do you want to be our friends? Naruto said. Yeah, I do, Yariko said. I don't really have that many friends, Yariko said. It was then getting dark. They had to leave. So Yariko, we'll walk you home, Naruto said, as Yariko blushed. They then walked her home. Naruto saw her apartment and got angry as it was run down. Yariko, is this where you live? Why do you live in such a broken place? Naruto said. Yeah, the Hokage gave me this. He said I have an important responsibility of keeping the hate away from Mema and Mito. And yes, I don't get any hot water. My apartment gets leaks all the time. And there's no heating, but it's home, Yariko said, as Naruto hugged her and so did Rose. I can't believe how evil the people of our village are, Yariko Rose said as Naruto nodded. We'll see you tomorrow, Yariko, Naruto said. Naruto and Rose then walked home to see Minato and Krishna angry. Remember Mito away, so yeah. What did you two do? Minato yelled. What do you mean? Naruto asked. Don't act stupid. You protected that demon girl from the villagers. 3 of them died and the rest of them were injured, and a councilwoman called Horano is charging you both as you ripped her arm off, apparently. You are also a disgrace to our clan. How could you protect a demon like that? Naruto said as Krishna's chains wrapped around Naruto and Rose. It's time we punished you for protecting a demon, you spoiled little shits, Krishna said as she dragged him into the kitchen and she grabbed a knife and went to hurt Rose. Stop, it was all me. Okay, Rose didn't do anything. Punish me, not her, Naruto said. Very well then, monkey freak, Krishna said as she left Rose alone and went to go and stab Naruto in his cheek. Naruto took it head on. Stop it, forgive him, Rose said. Shut up, don't yell at your elders, Minato said, slapping her in the face as she fell to the ground. Don't hurt her, hurt me instead, Namikaze, Naruto said. Find them, Minato said as he proceeded to beat Naruto with Krishna making him bleed. Krishna then got a burnt knife and started to engrave a scar mark like the scar that Bardock had on Naruto's cheek, making it last forever. Let this remind you to never attack an innocent villager again, Krishna said. Innocent, we all know you're at fault for the Nine-Tails attack, along with the Uchihas. You released the Nine-Tails and the Uchihas controlled them, Naruto said, but you blamed on that poor girl. How dare you, Krishna said, as she went to attack and hit Naruto. But Naruto dodged and kicked Krishna in the face, sending her flying into Minato. If anyone deserves the blame that isn't you, it's my siblings, not that poor girl. My siblings are the one that hold the demon. They should be accountable for what the demon's actions have done, Naruto said. That's it. You're getting kicked out from this house and the clan. Now get out of my house, Minato said. If Naruto's kicked out, then so am I, Rose said. Fine, nobody wants you anyways. Your father doesn't want you, you failure. You failures stick together, Minato said. Oh, you mean that whole Krishna? Didn't she get knocked out by me? The so-called failure, Naruto said. Get the hell out of my house now, Minato said. Let's go, Rose, Naruto said. Both Naruto and Rose then left the Namikaze compound as they went to Yariko's apartment and knocked. Who can it be at this hour? Yariko said as she opened the door and she saw Naruto and Rose. Naruto-kun, Rose-chan, what are you doing here? Yariko said, hugging them. Well, you see, Yariko, we were kicked out of the house and we were hoping we could stay with you. And you and Rose can take the bed, I'll take the floor, Naruto said as he explained what happened. I'm so sorry, it's all my fault, Yariko said. It's not your fault, it's Minato Baka's fault. We just helped the innocent girl, Naruto said. You two can stay here, Yariko said. The next day, Naruto, Yariko and Rose were getting glared at. Is that the 4th son walking with the demon? A villager said. Yeah, I heard he got kicked out because he killed some people for trying to humble her, another said. So, the 4th finally exiled the disgrace, another said. Look at the freak. He's working with the demon, I should have known, another yelled. Yariko then started to cry as Naruto got angry. I dare you to say that again, Naruto said. The freak is working with a demon, the villager said. Naruto then punched that villager in the face hard and then kicked him in the nuts as he then grabbed the villagers and threw him away. He then charged up a ki blast, shot it at the villager, killing him. How is that freak so strong? He's only 4-year-old, another villager said, terrified. Naruto then got in trouble as he was taken to the Hokage where he was punished. We now see Naruto going to the park as he sees a girl crying. Naruto went up to her and asked, Hey, why are you crying? Why do you care? You're just going to bully me like all the others, like the Hokage kid and my brother and the clan, the girl said. Naruto then hugged her as she blushed. Now tell me, why are you crying? Naruto asked. My name is Suki Uchiha. My brother is Sasuke Uchiha. He unlocked the Sharingan and my father always liked him more. He hates having a female child. My brother bullies me, he beats me, and my clan thinks I'm a disgrace. The only 2 people who care about me is my brother and my mother, Mikoto, and Itachi. My other brother bullies me with the Hokage kids and I have no friends because whenever I make a friend, they leave me. They try to get close to my brother, like that girl called Sakura Harano and Ino Yamako, she said. Well, I care about you. Why don't you be friends with me and my friends? Naruto said as Yaku suddenly appeared in front of her. Hi, my name is Yaku. Let's be friends, Yaku said. My name is Rose. We can be friends, Rose said. I guess we could be friends. I, the great Suki Uchiha, will be your friend, she said. The next few years, Naruto and his friends chilled and had fun. It was now night, as Naruto and his friends were walking home, apart from Suki as she was already at the Uchiha compound, when they saw a man with a bag. Something was moving in the bag. As the figure got closer, they heard screams. "You girls wait here. I'll take care of this," Naruto said. As Rosa and Yariko opposed, but they soon relented as Naruto gave them the glare. Naruto then got in front of the man and said, "Hey you, what's in that bag? Beat it, kid. I've got no time for you," the man said as he punched Naruto, sending him flying, and then used a lightning ball to blast him at a tree. He then grabbed a knife and went to kill Naruto. "Sorry kid, but I can't leave any survivors here," the man said, bringing the kunai down, but was then sent flying back by a kick. "Sorry, but I can't let you hurt him," a figure said. But guys, that's all for today. Peace.